Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is July 7th, 2021, and this is episode 353, I believe. Vampire the Masquerade is the comic we're looking at today. This is issue number 9 in the series. It comes out from Vault at a whopping $3.99. Very good value, I must say, right off the top, because you get a 20-page story and then an 8 or 10-page backstory. So you get a lot for your money. It's based on the RPG game Vampire the Masquerade that's been out for, I guess, a couple decades now. I'm not real familiar with that game. And in the back of the book, as you can see, I'll go there, they give you some materials for that game for additional. A little thin this time, but sometimes it's like 6 pages of things. Okay? So this is a recommend, by the way. I've been loving the series. I'm not a big vampire fan, but this has been really interesting. And this is a key issue. However, this is not a jumping on point. You pretty much have to read the entire run. And I know the trade paperback is out for the first 5 issues. So you could go ahead and pick that up if you are interested in vampire stories. I think this one's real good. I'll include a link that someone gave me that gives a glossary for all the terms that they use within here. There is a lot in the first issue that was a little bit mind-boggling, but I got through it. And I have actually enjoyed it. Both stories. Sometimes I like the main story better, and sometimes I like the backstory better. So let's take a quick look at the cover here. Obviously, it's Christmas time, and it's also death. This takes place in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and there's a number of different levels of vampires going around there. There's a main group that's kind of the leaders of the whole thing. They're known as the Camarilla. And they've recently had their leader, Prince Samantha, assassinated. So we found out that Calder, who's kind of like the Blood Witch in the group, but he's a vampire, whatever you want to call him. I think they call him Primogen Went as well. So I don't know if that means something about the blood magic he can do. But he is trying to take over the group himself. And a lot of stuff got resolved in this issue. But I just want to mention, they went to a new artist from the last one, but it seemed to affect the writing as well. The writing's a little different. I like the old writing. I like the new writing. I like the old art. I like the new art. So nothing lost there. Let's take a quick look to see who is working on this now. Okay, The Winter's Teeth main story is written by Tim Seeley. He's been on it the whole time. It's drawn by Stephen Molnar. He's the new artist that has come out. Excuse me. The Anarch Tales is written by Teeny Howard and Blake Howard. And it's drawn by Nathan Gooden. He's been on it all along. And then both tales, the colored by Addison Duke and lettered by And World. Okay, and I just want to say that for Teeny Howard, I've read a number of other things by her that I have not enjoyed. And this story I've loved. So I don't know if she's writing the bulk and Blake Howard's filling it in, or Blake Howard's doing the most and then Teeny Howard is going back on. I have no idea how they're working this out, but it's been really good. So tip of the cap to Teeny and Blake on the backup story as well. And as you can see, it's been taking place in Minneapolis right around Christmas time. It's been snowing, and you get the snow shot here. But I'm going to give you a sample of what we were seeing before. And you can kind of see the difference here. The snow and how the darkness and everything. It all had this kind of dark, gloomy thing. Well, that's an explosion there. But we had a lot of just darkness and gloominess and cold feelings in the past. Now we got a new artist on there. You can see that. It's a nice shot there. And this is quite different, quite a shock, because you turn this page and you find out that everything is changing. Suddenly it's, whoa, looks like a G.I. Joe comic now, with people rappelling from helicopters, all kinds of stuff going on, and just all total mayhem. And what has happened is there's a group of vampire hunters they've gotten the signal to all come together and attack the headquarters of the vampires. It's the Galtier building. That's a major complex. So we get this scene where it's an all-out assault. The Anarch, the vampires, are partially behind there because they want to end up being in charge. But there's a lot of conspiracies going on, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of neck biting. Just really good throughout. This is just a Carfax. He's kind of one of the head guys, but like internationally, and he has come to christen Calder as the new prince, I'm pretty sure, but things are not going well for Calder as all these things are kind of falling to pieces. So it's a lot of mayhem. And here's our hero, Celia, I think I'm saying it right, Celie, something like that, Bane. And she's the enforcer for the Camarilla, and she was left for dead at the end of the last issue, betrayed by someone she took under her wing to train the vampire. Her name was Allie. And it turns out Allie is actually the daughter of a mortician that was killed. And she herself wants revenge, so she has let herself take the embrace, as they call it, and become a vampire and infiltrate it throughout the vampires and learn all the different people that are in it so she can really turn the screws when it's time. So we have this all-out battle between the vampire hunters and the vampires, and it's just wonderful. It's just really exciting, especially since the other one was what we'd seen before. It was mostly just these tiers of vampires kind of going at each other. Now we've got like a group of humans that are putting up a pretty good fight as well. So both sides are taking heavy losses. Cecily is back in it. You can see there's a little bit of humor in here with you got the vampire hunters wearing antler hats and snow caps and all kinds of stuff. And then we find out that Allie is pretty much turning on everybody now, even the vampire hunters. And they've got this hammer with the sickle thing on it that's kind of the symbol for the vampire hunters. So there's like police, there's military, there's government officials all involved in the secret vampire hunting group. So it's been a pretty exciting issue, really exploded. And it goes right into the Anarch tales here, where we pick up that the four main Anarchs that we were following, Colleen, Mitch, Priscilla, and Rat King, are all kind of split up. They're trying to come back together. At the end of this particular issue, Priscilla and Rat King do get together, and they have kind of set off to find Colleen and Mitch. They have no idea where they are. And this whole thing takes place just before dawn, so the vampires are freaking out because they want to get to their slumber areas. They are at their weakest just before dawn. They feel lethargic, so they're not putting up as much of a fight as they normally would. But there's a few of them left, and so we'll see what happens in issue 10. But so far, so good. You can see this, just the wrath of God is put in this final panel here. Just wonderful. Really liked it. I think this is one of the strongest issues so far, and of course, it's going to get the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating seal of approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones on this particular channel, except no substitutes. So thank you for stopping by and looking at this review. I can really recommend this if you like vampire stuff, because I think it goes pretty deep into the lore. And for those that don't, just like a nice mystery, action, just something a little different, I can recommend this as well. So we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I got more reviews coming up. Today's new comic book day. I'm going to buy some new comics today. So we'll have something just keep on going for the rest of the week. All right. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.